Hello, welcome to another episode of Jim's Allotment Garden. We've had a funny week this week in the UK. I don't know if you can see now, but it's really windy. We've had torrential rain, we've had really hot days, we've had really wet days. One day this week we had over 3 inches of water in the space of about an hour, so as you can imagine the garden's taken a reasonable amount of battering. I've had to prop up quite a lot of things. The weeding has just got out of hand. There's that many weeds and they're growing sort of by the hour. And a lot of plants have been sort of absolutely drenched with water, so they've all kind of fallen over, so they've needed supported. So there's been a very busy week in the allotment this week, but welcome to another episode of Jim's Allotment Garden. Okay, so I'm going to make some comfrey tea now, which is basically used as fertilizer for tomatoes. And all you do is you cut the comfrey down. And I know there's lots of bees around this, but unfortunately it's time now to chop this back. So the easiest way of doing this is with a pair of head shears. Just go through, chop it up into little pieces, and then basically what you need to do is put it into a container. What I've got here is just an old black box. And what I've done is I've bored a hole in the bottom there and put a tap and a length of copper pipe, because I can attach a pop bottle onto the bottom of this to collect the juice. Now if you don't have anything like this, a simple box would do, but what you need to do is you know, sort of tip it up to get the juice out. But if you've got one with a tap at the bottom, that's ideal. And all you need to do to protect the tap and stuff is I've just got a bit of nylon mesh here. I'm using nylon obviously because it's non-biodegradable, so it won't rot in the bottom. And all you need to do is put that in the bottom like that, and what that will do is it'll stop any sort of fragments of the comfrey going down in there. Now all you need to do is chop it all up, put it in there, and then weight it down with a slate or something like that on the top. And what it'll do is it'll very quickly decompose into effectively like a juice, which is very high in all the nutrients, which is actually perfect for tomatoes, potatoes and things like that. And then all you need to do is mix that 10:1 in your water when you're watering your tomatoes, and then you can feed your tomatoes with that. So basically it's sort of free tomato feed. So all I'm going to do now is get the head shears, shoo all the bees away, and then chop all this up with the head shears, and then put all the pieces into this box, weight down with a slate, put the lid on it, and then just leave that to decompose in there, which will then give me tea for to feed the tomatoes with. Okay, so that's the comfrey cut down, as you can see. Now I have left a few stalks on this one, but this one here will soon shoot back up again. So you know, don't worry about chopping it down. Comfrey is most certainly herbaceous and will react well to being chopped down. So what I've done is I've put all of the cuttings in here, and I've chopped it up as small as I can do with the hedge cutters. Now all you need to do now is weight it down with a slab or some bricks or whatever you've got. Don't add water to it. If you want it to smell like a drain, put water to it, but obviously, honestly, you don't want to do that. So just don't put any water in there at all. All you need to do is put something heavy in there, like a piece of slab or a brick or a big slate or something like that, and then cover it up so that the so basically you know, any rainwater doesn't get in there, and then that'll start to produce T4 in the next couple of weeks. It doesn't take long for it to break down. So just a quick bit of detail on this. I have explained this in previous episodes. If you haven't seen, this was if you search for wormery, this is the container that I used to use for the wormery. And all I've got here is an isolation tap with a 22 mil compression joint fitment on there, soldered to a 12 mil with a length of pipe in it. And what this actually allows me to do is, if you get a normal pop bottle, you can fit the normal pop bottle up there, and that will, believe it or not, it's the same thread. This is easier to do with two hands than one, but it's the same. That's not going quite in straight. There you go. It's the same thread on a 22 mil pipe fitting as it is on a pop bottle, so that will sit on there quite nicely. The holes at the top here I drilled through just to let the air out as I'm filling it, and then if I open that tap now, in a couple of weeks' time, when the juice is formed in the bottom of the box, it will then fill this bottle with the comfrey juice, which I can then decant into the watering cans, as I say, 10 to 1, and then you water tomatoes. However many fruit trusses you've got, you water that many times per week. So, for example, if I show you in here, now this tomato plant here, you see it's got one fruit truss there with little tomatoes on, and then I've got a second one just there. So it's got two fruit trusses on. So I would water that tomato plant twice a week with watered down comfrey juice. If it's got one, you water it once a week. If it's got three, obviously 3 a week, and so on. And then, but don't water it too strong. You only want sort of 10 to 1, absolute maximum. So you know, like a half a cup in a big watering can is probably enough. Obviously, basically a cupful in a watering can that big is about 10 to 1. So you know, it's better to feed them little and often rather than, you know, putting, you know, loads on in one go, because what you can do is you can burn the plant. Another thing at this time of the year, just a quick note, is any of these side shoots you've got, I know I've mentioned this before, but make sure you pull any side shoots out, because these are cordon tomatoes. Obviously what you want these to do is grow straight up. So see, it's quite a big one there. Now the taller the plant grows, the bigger these side shoots can get in a very short time. So you want all the energy to go into the flowers and the main stalk. So come up every couple of days and just make sure that you pull off any of these sort of side shoots, and then you know, the plant will grow nice and healthy. So this one here, actually, this one's got quite a big side shoot on it. If you can see that one there, that's actually a side shoot. So all I do is I tend to pull them to one side, and then they'll snap straight off. So just quickly show if I can find another one. So if you look at this one at the back here, if you get the side shoot like that and then pull it to the side of the plant, they typically just break off. Let's see if I can find a slightly bigger one. This one here's gone a bit weird. That's actually a leaf there, so that's actually I guess the main shoot. But yeah, so all you need to do is just make sure any side shoots like that one there, yeah, just pull it off to the side and it will break off. Try and break it off as clean as you possibly can do. And then you guarantee to get the tomatoes growing nice and straight, and all the energy will go into the plant and the fruit, as opposed to growing side shoots. Okay, the next thing I want to plant out is Swede. Now these again have come from Wilco, 75p, so at that price you really can't go wrong. And again with Swede, you don't really need too many Swede, I think. You're much better off growing a few of them, and you know, and spacing them out, you know, so you get a good lot. Because I don't know, Swede isn't a you know, they're good for stews and things like that. I quite like mashed up Swede. So you kind of boil it and then sort of mash it up like you would potato. That's always nice. But again, in exactly the same way, all I'm doing is, this is just the small cell And I'm just loosely putting some compost in each one, like that, so that they're all pretty much full. And again, just go through and put your finger each one. Now you're going to be planting these again at about kind of a centimetre down. So what you need to do is just stick your finger in the middle of the cell, which will do two things. One, it'll compress the soil down, and then it'll also make sure that the seed goes into the middle. That seems to have a bit too much in. Right, so I'll just show you the Swede seed, and as soon as you see the seed from a Swede, it's obvious what family of plants it comes out of, because these are little teeny black balls, and anything that's got seeds vegetable wise, little teeny black balls, it's most certainly a brassica, and all brassicas grow pretty much the same thing. So what I could have done, yeah, they're the seed. What I could have done was sort of cast these over and then pricked them out and put them in, you know, sort of put them in, you know, sort of pricked them out and then put them in individual ones, but I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to do is put in a couple of seeds in each one, or something like that. It's easier said than done with it this side. Just put a couple of seeds in each one, like that. As I say, I'm planting these about a centimetre down. You can put them slightly shallower than that, but I always think about a centimetre is about right. And these should be, at this time of year, these should be up and out in, you know, you should start to see these growing most certainly within a week or two, and these will be ready to plant out into the rows. I would say within probably about 3 weeks you're planting the seeds. Now again, I'll just show you the packet in a second. But again, you know, if you look at the seed packet, you can sow them. You can sow them in May, June, or July. So this is kind of the right time to be sowing them outside. So I'll be basically sort of jumping ahead of the game a little bit with these, because these will grow. These will grow really quickly in the greenhouse, and so these are going to be up and ready to be planted out into the garden in the next couple of weeks, and then these will be you know, a little bit ahead of anything that you would have sown in the ground. There's nothing stopping you sowing them in the ground straight outside, but I always find if you grow them like this, these do suffer from attacks from sort of worms eating the beetles eating the leaves and that. And if you plant them inside, because the beetles only attack them when they're small, if you can get them up to sort of 2 or 3 inches high, and then plant them out, the beetle isn't going to attack them then. You know, you stand a much better chance of success. If you get them nice and strong and then put them out into the garden, you know, you're much better off than trying to sort of plant them out there and then you know, finding that these beetles have had a go at them. If you plant them in the greenhouse where there isn't most certainly any beetles, they will grow up nice and healthy. You can put them out into the ground, space them out as you want them, and then you'll find that the beetles won't attack them because they're too old to be attacked. So you know, you stand a much better chance. I planted them out in the ground last year, and the row grew really well, and they grew till they were about 1 inch or so, 1.5 inches high, and then literally overnight the beetles came along and they just literally shred you know, sort of shredded the leaves, and I pretty much lost the entire row due to that. So this is a much safer bet if you want to have good healthy Swedes. This is the Calabrese, or the green broccoli, this kind of block here, and you can see now why I've planted them this close together, because these do tend to flop over if you're not careful, and this is a trick that I learnt off a farmer. If you plant them this close together, they've got more than enough nutrients in the ground and everything, but because they're next to each other, they will actually support each other in the ground, and they grow really well like this. So I always plant mine about sort of 14 inches apart in blocks like this, and then if you plant them in rows this way and also this way, they tend to support themselves quite well. But as you can see, the florets are forming quite nicely in the middle there. This one's a bit more advanced, so so they're growing really well. Again, I need to put some more seed into those. The third set of seeds I'm going to be growing today are Calabrese, or broccoli. Now this is an autumn variety, again came from Wilco's, which was for £1. Now I'm going to grow these slightly differently to the way I've done the other two. What I'm actually going to do is grow these in a tray, and then what I'm going to do is let them grow in the tray and then prick them out into the pots and grow them on like that. Now these, obviously as you know, I've already got green broccoli in the allotment. Now these plants that I'm planting now are going to replace the ones that are in the allotment, so they're going to crop in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and then those plants will then be spent. So I'll take those plants out, they'll be given to the chickens for food, and then they'll be replaced by this second batch. Now this is an autumn variety. You don't have to get an autumn variety, you can potentially put the same variety in twice, but I thought I'd give this a go. I've not grown this autumn variety before, and so I thought I'd give it a go. So put your compost in like that, and now I'm looking for my piece of wood. Here it is. And all you need to do is just press it down. You don't need it too hard. Brassicas like the ground to be hard, and does the germinating. So you want it to be reasonably hard, but you know, you don't need that hard that it's like tarmac and you can't get the roots in. So that's the ground all pressed down, the compost. As you can see, that's nice and level. Now obviously this is a brassica, so the seeds are going to be little black balls again. I'll just show you the seed. So there you go. Those are the seed, and I'm going to need around. Well, to be honest with you, shall I put them all in? I'll put about half of them in. That's going to probably do me. I can always have another. I could potentially get a third lot in this year if I'm lucky. Now, broccoli takes about, the one thing you need to remember with broccoli, it takes about 12 weeks from germination to actually you cropping it. So what you need to do is think about, if you wanted to get multiple sets in the same ground, what you need to do is you know, sort of get the first lot in as early as you possibly can do, and then get the second lot in as soon as the first lot come out, and then, you know, sort of work it like that. Now what I could do is actually put some of these down in the bottom tunnel as well, so I could potentially have a second lot. Now broccoli for me is always a winner. All my family eat it, so I've put plenty in there. There's probably 100 or so seeds in there, which is more than enough for what I need. So I've got the seed pods in there. I want to get mixed up. So, sorry, back to the plot. What we need to do then is, as soon as we've got it on there, what you need to do is put a very light sprinkling of compost. Now, if you get a handful of compost like that, and then basically just sort of sprinkle it between your, rub it between your hands, and what that'll do is it'll break it up and also make it nice and fine, and then it'll just sort of dust the surface, if you like, with compost. You don't want to plant these too deep. Also, as soon as this is compressed down in a second, it'll be a lot shallower than it looks. But I'm probably putting about, I don't know, 3 or 4 millimetres of compost on the top. That's more than enough. All you need to do really is stop the seed from floating to the top when you water it. Right, that's more than enough. So just give it a bit of a tap to level it off, and then again with your piece of wood, just go back over and press it down. What that'll do is just press it in. Again, water with tap water, and then these will come up in the next couple of weeks. So as you can see, in just a few days these have come through and they're growing really well. So we've got the Swedes here that you saw me putting in. That's literally about 5 days after putting in, so they've grown really quickly. they're the Calabrese, or the second load of green broccoli, and these are the beetroot. As you can see, they're also growing really well. So within a couple of days they were out, and then this is kind of 4-5 days on from when the seed was set. So this time of the year they grow really quick, particularly if you've got them in a greenhouse. There's still a few of the beetroots that have not come through, but that's what the beetroot and the Swede and the Calabrese looks like at the moment. Okay, so I'm collecting seeds. These are the seed pods off the Scottish Kale, and as you can see, I've sowed all those. Now, what I'm going to do is let these sort of dry out, and then inside there will be the little black seeds that we're all sort of familiar with regards to brassicas. Now, all I've done is I've allowed the plant to run to seed. I've not got any other brassicas anywhere near it. It was in a tunnel on its own, so I know that these are most certainly pure sort of Scottish Kale seeds. In exactly the same way, we've got the Swede. Now this is a Swede plant here that I've allowed. I don't know if you can see there, but that was where it was connected to the Swede. And in exactly the same way, these are the seed pods here. And what I'll be doing is collecting these and drying them out in exactly the same way, just like peas. The little pods will split, and then inside there will be, I don't know, 10 or more the little round seeds. So I'll be pulling these off here. So I've done exactly the same thing with the Petrarch Kale. These are obviously Swede, and I've got the Scottish Kale here. So all I'm going to do now is just leave these to dry. But obviously, if you are going to do this, it is important that you haven't got multiple brassicas in the same place, otherwise they will cross-pollinate and you'll end up with some kind of cross variety between the two. But that's the collecting seeds for Scottish Kale. Okay, so a quick update in the greenhouse. I don't know if you can see, but the grapes are growing at some phenomenal rate. We've had really nice weather this week with regards to the greenhouse, because it's been nice and hot, and it's also been quite humid, and we've had lots and lots of rain, and the grapes have really sort of come on. I don't know if you can see that, but they have really come on now. I really do need to cut these back, so I've got about 10 bunches or so, but the grapevine's been growing like balmy the last week or so, I really do need to thin these out. But I'll just sort of give you a quick look around the greenhouse so you can see what's going on. These are the Moneymaker tomatoes. We've actually got some tomatoes on there, and they're up to about 2 foot high now. So I've already put two ties on. I've got another fruit truss coming through just there. I don't know if you can see. That's the next flower truss. So I'll be tying that again there. So they're doing really well. On the other side of the greenhouse, which you've not seen yet, I've also dug all this out, and I've got the Alicante tomatoes in there. So they're kind of recovering from what they were before, because they should have gone in a few weeks ago. So they're looking a little bit spindly in that, but they are looking a lot happier now they've gone in here. And so that's the Alicante. The jalapeno peppers, as you can see up here, are doing really well. They're going there. They're the cayenne pepper plants in the middle there, and then we've got the jalapenos on this side as well. So they're going really well. A little bit dry at the moment, but they need a bit of water. I don't know if you can see, but we've got like this sort of green sort of algae on the top of the ground. That's a typical sign that you're watering them too much. So what I've done is I've, even though they had a little bit of water yesterday, I've kind of backed off a little bit on the watering. But that's the peppers. And then over here we've got the cucumbers, growing quite merrily. I had a bit of a question with regard to the tray at the bottom, and just so everybody knows, what you need to do is keep the tray with water in it. You need about between 1 inch and sort of 2 inches of water in there, and what that does is it'll go up inside the rise up inside the pots and keep the plants watered. So if they do dry out, what you need to do is water them from the top again, because you need water in the compost already for it to work well. So so that's the cucumbers. And if you can see at the back there, I'll just quickly zoom in. That's a cucumber forming there. Sorry, it's gone out of focus. That's cucumber forming there, and we've got a couple on that plant there, so I need to push that through the top. I've got some cucumbers forming on this one, and then this one here has grown through the top. I don't know if you can see, there's also cucumbers forming there. So this is merely growing up above the frame there. And what I've done is I've sort of pointed it above the frame so it kind of sits on the frame. I will tie it as well. The other one is just popping its head through there. I don't know if you can see at the back there, but it's just kind of popping through. So the cucumbers are doing well. The other jalapenos are here. They've done alright. I had a bit of a slug come on this one here and do a bit of damage in the week, but the rest of them are doing okay. It'll recover from that. Onto the basil. The basil's growing really well down here, and at the back there, and then we've got all of these trays full of basil at the top here, so these will be going out before too much longer. Also, I've shown you the beetroot, the Calabrese and the Swede already. I have still got some basil to prick out, but I've been busy weeding outside for most of the week, so I've not got around to doing that. So they'll be pricked out in the next few days into these trays here that I've got ready. So that's what the greenhouse looks like on the 11th of June. So, I hope this episode has been of some use to you. Please don't hesitate to put any comments or questions you got below, and I'll always get back to you. And I'll see you on the next episode of Jim's Garden.